Hello and welcome to the Second Take podcast with Leighton Brower and Kieran Costa. Today, sports are kind of slow. The NFL is at a bit of a standstill midway-ish through the season. The NBA has got into the long stretch of regular season games, and it's a bit too early to tell much, but we will discuss some things that could be happening. And we also have Premier League predictions, pick them for next week, just in case you want to bet, because we're always correct on these sorts of things. Yes. Yeah. All right, cool. If Kieran will get off his phone, we can start discussing the NBA. Steph Curry, MVP so far, I think pretty much undisputed. They're 9-1. He's dropped 50. He's dropped 40 something a couple times.
8 games.
It's been 10 games and he's decent.
So
he's quite good.
Okay, so we're 1/8 through the season. So that's 2 weeks into the NFL season.
Yeah.
Theoretically, if we're doing some.
Sure. It is different, but yeah, sure. It is completely different.
Not really. I would say.
It is.
What's 1/8 of 160? 162.
20 games.
Okay. Give or take 20 games, 10 games, 2 games. I all think they're the same if you compare them to how long the season is. So I think this is a gross overreaction.
Okay. So instead, do you think the league is worse with the new foul rules?
Yes.
You think it's worse to watch as a viewer? I know you watch games. Do you watch games?
I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah. I've watched 15 minutes of live NBA basketball in the first week of this season.
Why? Because you don't want to, or because
because Reddit stream is a bit of work, yeah.
Okay, so it's like a personal reason, not because the NFL has declined.
How much did you watch?
I have watched almost nothing. I barely have time to watch. I barely watch the NFL. I only watch Premier League highlights at this point. I can't really watch anything.
Oh, I watch so much Premier highlights. And
I watch every game's highlights. I just can't watch anything live.
Ever. And I watch Red Zone on Sunday in the background as I do like homework.
Fair. I don't have
like 4:05 to 7:05 every day. I can't sit and watch a basketball game.
Fair enough.
I don't know what I watched the fourth quarter of the Timberwolves beating the Bucks. I watched the fourth quarter of the Timberwolves' first win, and I watched the overtime period. I watched a minute and a half of the overtime loss to Memphis because I got very angry that we were losing, and I turned it off.
Fair enough. Okay, we can do thoughts on the Timberwolves then, if you've watched a lot of them. Karl Anthony Towns looks pretty decent, but they have not won a lot of games as per usual.
I'd say more games than I expected.
Really? They're 12th in the Western Conference right now.
If you told me you'd be 3-6, I'd be like, that's not terrible.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, let's see their overarching statistics really quickly.
We beat the Rockets and we started 2-0. That's the problem.
Yeah.
We're skidding back. Okay. We've beaten and hung around with good teams. We beat the Rockets, we beat the Pelicans, and we beat the Bucks. We lost to the Nuggets by 2.
Yeah, I would say the main problem is some of your players who are meant to be good aren't playing as well. None of them are meant to be good.
Anything we get from Anthony Edwards has been good. He's averaging.
Anthony Edwards has been decent. D'Angelo Russell.
Yikes.
He's shooting 37% from the field, 33% from 3. 17 points a game. How much is he getting paid? Too much, probably.
Too much money.
He's getting paid $27 million.
One who's been good, McDaniels. I'm a big fan of this
McDaniels.
Jaden McDaniels. Woo, he's cooking.
Shooting under 40%. Yeesh.
Yeah, but he plays like
he doesn't take a lot of shots though. And half of his shots are threes, so
he went to UW. Okay, never mind. He's not as good as I once thought.
He averages 5 points.
He averages 4, 4, and 1. But like he does a lot on defense. He's a defensive minded power forward. We need defense.
Block,
like Pat's not a great defender for a center. Anthony Edwards is not a great defender for a small forward. Patrick Beverley is a great defensive point guard. I mean, this is what I expected. It's not going to be a good season, but also we're going to find a way to go 7-9 in our last 9 games. We're going to go 8-2 in our last 10 games and magically go from like the two spot in the draft to like the 7th. And it's just going to be a pattern of nothing. We did it last year. You don't
think you made the play-in? No chance of making the play-in.
I don't think we make the play-in. I don't think we make the play-in.
Let's see.
I think we could. I think it is too easy to make the play-in.
The 10th seed, right?
I don't like what?
So you think right now as it is.
Never mind. We will make the
Pelicans
play-in.
and the Rockets are abysmal right now. Right? They're 1-9 and 1-10 respectively.
We'll finish better than Oklahoma City, maybe, and then maybe Sacramento. But I don't want to see us play in a play-in. What is that?
You win the play-in. You're the 8th seed now.
Okay. Here's my big idea, yeah? We make the play-in. We win the play-in. Who gets the 1 seed? Golden State Warriors. Where do the Golden State Warriors play? Just minutes from where I live. What does that mean? I go watch Cat in the playoffs.
True. You get to go watch them get blown up by 40. Could be a fun game to see.
No, we always lose in 5 when we make the playoffs in my lifetime. Get it? Because we made the playoff once in my lifetime. It's a pretty classic joke. Yeah, let's talk about some good teams. Warriors, actually. We live kind of near
Warriors, who currently have possibly the best player in the world, Stephen Curry.
Step aside Michael Jordan.
Although looking at his stats, I will say he is not as good as I thought. I think he had a couple of great games, but overall, averaging less points than last season.
He makes headlines though. He's dropped 50 like twice, yeah. No,
he dropped 50 once in another high scoring game.
And then he went 25 and a quarter.
Yes, that was it. And like 30 in the whole game. Fourth quarter, Steph Curry has not been great. But the Warriors have ended up in a 9-1 position. 2 ahead of a couple of other teams. Can they keep it up? With Clay coming back. Eventually. When does he come back?
When did the first rumors I heard was what am I saying? Christmas?
Christmas. That would not be ideal, I guess. Let's see. I'm told Klay Thompson will be cleared for full practice over the next month or so. And that was 3 weeks ago. And that hasn't happened.
No. He's been in practice. We've seen
practice, or has he just been shooting?
Last week there was video of him like full suited up at practice, but we just saw him shooting. Like
so he wasn't actually playing then. He was just
playing. Okay.
He just looked like he was playing, but he wasn't.
Klay Thompson is craving like some sort of basketball because now he's like
absolutely
he's trying to distract himself maybe. Like Klay Thompson doesn't seem like the guy that's getting petty over him not making some NBA 75 list made by some fat white guys who are like us and think we should talk about NBA players. Like I don't see why he cares.
No, I guess he hasn't got.
You think I let the adversity get me down with all these? Second Take is so bad. Get a new co-host. Why do you do this terrible show? I'm not like I'm not out here tweeting, like, put some damn respect on my name. I'm out here every Tuesday night grinding, trying to make the show better. And if I was Klay Thompson, that's what I'd be doing.
There you go. I didn't like how he was being a little bit of a crybaby about it. He was somewhere around 80, probably. Unlucky, I guess.
Wasn't he like 76 or whatever? Like
77, I think. 77. And then the Warriors
why does he
got
care?
a jersey to troll him. Pretty funny, but if he's not coming back for a while, I could see the Warriors falling
into the play-in. Joke.
Possibly.
I had him in the play-in before the season started. I had him
get them down to 5th seed by Christmas, I think.
You think they skid when Klay comes back?
Huh?
Let's assume Klay Thompson's back before Christmas.
Okay.
December 1st.
Sure.
December 1st through 7th, he plays limited minutes. Then like end of the first week of December, he's a full go. Okay. Where do you think they are?
Then they've got the next 3 weeks. They'll be slowly going down, I think.
I agree.
They'll end up in the 3rd or 4th seed by then.
It's a brutal schedule. Timberwolves come to town tomorrow. You never want to face Timberwolves on the road. That's what I always say. I'm not going to the game as many might assume. I'm going in January when the Timberwolves come to town for a second time. The Bulls are, I think, in the same position as the Warriors.
Right now, quite good. More reliable, some would say.
I would disagree.
Why?
If they both right now have 1-2 losses, yeah? What are the Bulls? Bulls are 7-3.
Bulls are 7-3. The Warriors are 9-1.
A team that's had a hot start that I think can keep it up is the Heat.
Not sure.
Let's say right now, who has the best record? Heat 7-3. We have Heat, Bulls, and Wizards. And in the Western Conference, good teams, we have Warriors and Jazz. I say out of those 5 teams, Heat finish with the best record.
The only thing I like about the Heat is that they're not relying on one player to do everything. Jimmy Butler's obviously leading their team in points, Bam Adebayo's, then Hero, and
that's their whole thing. Like every player in that starting lineup is like very solid. Kyle Lowry, tough start. He'll pick it up. He always does. It's a new system, sure. Tyler Hero, he's showing signs of what we saw in the bubble that we all wanted to see last year, but didn't. Bam, I think, is in an argument for top 3 center in the league.
I agree. He's quite good. He plays defense at a defense player of the year level. Great on offense as well, shooting 57% right now in a time where people don't really shoot very good. Well,
high percentage.
Yeah, I noticed everybody shooting relatively worse. I think Steph Curry, obviously shooting, as I said, 5% worse than last season so far. Quickly,
if let's just say we're focusing on the Warriors, yeah. Let's very quickly off the top of your head, we'll just go through matchups, yeah, till the end of November. Timberwolves win. Bulls at home.
Loss.
Timberwolves at home. Bulls at home. They go 1-1 in those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hornets away.
Win.
Nets away.
Nets have not looked great. I still say to lose that though.
Aren't they on a 7-game winning streak? No, maybe that ended.
The Nets. Yeah, they did maybe.
Nets are like 2-4, and then they've.
It just got snapped.
Okay, then Cavs and Pistons on a back-to-back away.
That's 2 wins.
Really? I mean.
Yeah.
You think fatigue plays no factor?
No, not really.
North Carolina.
Maybe if it was in reverse order, I'd give the Cavs a chance. Pistons.
Sure. Home against the Raptors.
That's a win, surely.
Home against the 76ers.
I don't like the 76ers right now, but somehow they've managed to get their way to 4 seed, which is respectable. We'll give them that. Let's say Steph Curry's starting to tire out at this point. We'll give the 76ers that win.
Blazers, Clippers, we'll say 1-1 somehow.
Yeah, sure.
And then Suns on a back-to-back.
That's a loss.
Both?
The first one is. I think they take the second.
And then you come home and win it. So that's 5 losses in the next 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 games.
12 games.
7-5, which would put
16
them
and 6.
That's probably still top record in the West.
Is it? You're looking at the Jazz, you look at the Mavericks, who I think are both set to just keep winning and winning and winning. Maybe not the Jazz on a 2 losing streak. Why? Why are the Jazz playing worse? Let's find out. How are they're not on a 2 losing streak anymore because they just beat the Hawks. Okay. Pacers, Heat, 76ers, Raptors. The Jazz do have some tough games coming up, I think. Grizzlies as well there. And then 2 Pelicans games back at home, which are free. Just about. So I say the Jazz and probably the Mavericks as well. I'm not going to check this. I think they both have a chance to overtake the next, what do we say, 12 games. Between now and, what was it, December 1st?
Yeah.
Or later.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Great.
The East is a mess.
The East. The Nets have looked better lately, I guess. But they had a rough start to the season.
The Cavs, Bulls, and Wizards. The Cavs and Wizards, I don't know where this
They're
is.
scamming it up. Scamming it up there. Somehow they've managed to get their way up there. No, the Cavs, Mobley looks really good.
But the Garland went out for the year. Sexton went out for the year. I don't remember who.
I did not see that.
One of them tore their meniscus or something. Cavs injury report. Colin Sexton leaves game with torn meniscus.
Yeesh. So for the year then.
No immediate timetable.
I don't think it's promising.
It is not.
Obviously hoping the best for him, but that would not be great for the Cavs.
The Wizards.
Or would it?
Wizards, like, what is this? What is this Lakers G League squad they've put together? I don't really
Lakers need to figure something out. I swear LeBron hasn't been playing games as well.
Oh no, he hasn't. He hasn't been playing anything.
He is old.
Damn, I really like this team's. I'm looking at the Wizards roster.
He played 6 games so far out of 10, 11, 12.
Playing a lot. Is he? What's his minutes per game when he plays?
37, to be fair.
The Wizards have a lot of guys that I remember from March Madness, and then and then Bradley Beal pretty much. Actually, they have 4 guys that have been good in March Madness, 3 guys they got from the Lakers, and Kyle Kuzma.
I will say somebody that I think I was hating on quite a lot and recently has been playing well. Russell Westbrook has been decent the last.
Yeah, he hasn't been shooting, but other than that, he's been great.
5 games or so, which is good. That's how they're going to win. I think that's obviously not efficient as usual, but somehow playing well, I guess. No, I just seen a lot of stuff congratulating him, I guess.
Are the Clippers done? with no Kawhi.
Yes, they are.
And it's funny because we picked them to win the championship when he was healthy.
That was before Kawhi, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't hate that pick, but obviously it hasn't panned out well. But they're the 4th seed though, right?
Are they?
7th. Oh, never mind. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
5 and 4. Is it time to just let go of everything?
Of what?
Paul George still has value early on in the season.
Sure. Who would
What's value? What
in return?
What's value for Paul George for the Clippers?
A first.
What, just a first?
Yeah.
That's
multiple firsts?
Underrate, I think.
Like a first and a 5th?
You know what sport we're talking about, yeah?
Years?
Huh?
What do you want in return?
A young player in a
Not
first.
with multiple firsts.
No, I wouldn't say. I don't think any team's giving up multiple
A
firsts.
first and a role player.
Who needs Paul George? Put it that way.
Timberwolves.
I'm not sure I like that for the Timberwolves.
I think we're a contender
They
with
have their young. They have their young people.
We're a contender with Paul George.
Get D'Angelo Russell to LA.
We trade
D'Angelo Russell on a first. And somebody.
D'Angelo Russell and a first?
Yeah. D'Angelo Russell's nothing.
Yeah. We can't get rid of him, though.
Why?
He's our 3rd best player.
Paul George will be your 2nd best player. Maybe first. By the end of the season, anyway. Wow, that's a really cool glove.
Yeah, thanks. So I was at the Stanford game, yeah? And this guy.
Which one? Which Stanford game?
Stanford versus Utah last Friday. I think
it was
Utes. Just 7. Yeah, the
Utes.
Oh, wow. I also, their mascot, Swoop? Yeah, Swoop. He took a photo with me. Like, Swoop.
Oh, no way. Can we see that really quick?
No.
You pull that picture up on your phone. Computer.
I can, actually.
Yeah, do that. So we did go to the Stanford-Utah game.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
It was really exciting. I had a really great time sitting in the Utah section.
Let's talk about how terrible football culture is in California.
Oh, yeah. Okay. It's so dead.
First of all, we'll just do this real quick. I don't know how the lighting.
Oh, wow. That's a really nice picture.
That's me and Swoop. Probably
high quality
profile photo. Probably the thumbnail for this video as well.
We could do that. We could
do that. Texas. First of all, my cousin, who will remain nameless for privacy purposes. I know you want to get to me so bad, my autograph and stuff. Don't go through him. Just leave him alone, please. Try and get on the pod. Everyone's trying to of late. Second Take really blowing up. He went to high school in Austin and now goes to Stanford. And more people went to his high school football games. I'm
not surprised. Look how good Stanford is. So good.
Even when Stanford was good, no one went.
No. When they had CMC, those days, it was packed out, no?
It maybe filled half capacity of Stanford Stadium. Cal, they'll sell
when Cal comes to town.
Oregon's good.
When Cal comes to town, they fill up, no?
Yeah, a bit more than we saw. But always fun to see some live sports. Nice to be back in a live stadium after a couple years. I had a good time.
Very true.
I
swear we went to something.
We went to the Giants, but nice to be back.
The Giants stadium. Giants games.
We are big baseball fans, as you can tell from his hat. And if you're a real baseball fan, my KBO hat.
Nobody cares about your hat, mate.
I have a cool glove still. This should be the thumbnail, actually.
The glove.
Yeah.
You can make glove thumbnail.
No, it has a racist emblem on it, so we can.
Very true. Can we talk about that? Really
yes.
Quickly?
Let's make a tier list of next to be canceled teams.
Well, I don't want to collect all the images, but we can just talk about it.
A list.
The Utah Utes.
Number 1.
Have a feather
Chicago
on
Black.
their logo. Unacceptable.
Number 1 is so clearly the Chicago Blackhawks.
Oh, for sure.
Share screen the Blackhawks logo.
And yeah, isn't it literally just
actually, I don't know if we can blur it out in post because we can't have that.
No, we won't. We just won't put it on screen. But if you know, it's bad. It's literally the guy with like a bunch of like paint on his face, right?
It's like sort of like the Redskins logo. It has the
feathers. The Washington football team old logo. Blackhawks logo. Let's see.
Oh, it is not good at all. My God.
Yeah, that's bad.
Also, here's what I think the Atlanta Braves tomahawk chop is more racist than anything the Redskins did. The Redskins were just called the Redskins. The Braves fans, who is like 95% white somehow, even though they're in Atlanta, do the tomahawk chop and do like oh and like the way the Native Americans did, like 20 times a game.
Yeah, it's not.
And it seems terrible.
We know a Braves fan. We hate all Braves fans, really. We don't enjoy any of them, I think. If you watch the last pod or any of the other pods, you know which fan we're referring to. Oh God, no, she won't watch. This is way too far in. She won't watch this part. Surely.
Don't give up their gender.
They won't watch this far in. It won't watch this far in.
This is terrible. Can we just do some NFL pick'ems, please?
Let's do the pick'em. All right, here we go. When's Denver's bye?
I can't wait for it. Am I right? I don't know. It's been a tough pod to say the least.
It's because you were on your phone at the time, lad.
Yeah, that also relate. Never mind. To this.
Here we go. Baltimore Ravens, Miami Dolphins. I think that's a pretty easy pick. The Dolphins have looked bad. Tua out. I don't know if he's out this week again. Ravens, pretty good, if you ask me. 6-2, same as the Packers, without one game without Aaron Rodgers. Looking good, I think so. Thoughts? Any thoughts?
I just saw what you named the group chat. That's a bit disturbing.
Atlanta Falcons versus Cowboys. Even after last week's rough game, I think the Cowboys. The Falcons are not very good. The Cowboys are 6-2. Again, rough game last week. Good game.
What did we say? I thought we said we weren't talking about the Broncos.
I didn't talk about the Broncos. The
Broncos.
Sorry. Well, you brought it up. I didn't. New Orleans Saints versus Tennessee Titans. Even without. So these two teams are pretty affected by injuries. James Winston coming out here, Derrick Henry, possibly probably the most valuable asset this year. But they've proved they can still do pretty well without Derrick Henry. Their pass game wasn't terrible. Ryan Tannehill, Julio Jones, AJ Brown, not bad.
They were carried by the defense though.
Not as good.
They got a Stafford threw a pick that was returned to the 2, and then just a rushing touchdown on one play, and then 10 seconds later, or on the first play of the next sequence, he threw a pick 6. And so when the defense gives you a 14-0 lead, and you really just chew clock for 3 quarters of Jeremy McNichols or Ryan McNichols' face. I don't know what his name is. TBH.
I think it's Jeremy. Yeah.
Jermichael.
So pretty decent though from the Titans. Pretty decent showing.
And it's
Colts, Jags. Colts probably the best team with a losing record. Maybe, not sure.
Jags beat the Bills. That is mad.
Colts. We've said the Colts are good every week.
The Colts have been good every week.
The Bills had one off game.
Are they? They're 5-3. You can't have 3 off games if you're a Super Bowl favorite.
Josh Allen shitted it, to be fair. What did he have? He did nothing.
That was embarrassing as the English fan.
It wasn't great. It wasn't a great showing. Not impressive at all. The Colts, well, the Jaguars look good, I guess, but the Colts, I think, still looking decent. Carson Wentz had a pretty decent game, to say the least. Of course, Jonathan Taylor had a good game as well, as he always does. So I think that's a unanimous pick, right? Browns, Patriots.
This has game of the week potential. In like a close game.
Yeah, yes, I agree. But I think the Browns take it.
Both teams are super interesting to watch. with like storylines and such. The Patriots are like a win away from. Do the Bills play this week? Are the Bills on bye? I think they play the Jets. The Patriots are in contention for the AFC East title or even a wild card spot. So are the Browns. Both these teams like opt to slow starts. The Browns have high hopes for them, but are sort of like trying to patch it together. The Patriots, slow and steady Belichick, as he always is. Okay. So I have to pick an upset for the big three pick'em, and I was really debating.
This was your upset?
I'm gonna lean Browns for now, but let's see.
I agree with the Browns. They had a pretty decent game last week. I still don't believe in Mac Jones somehow. Bills versus Jets. Okay.
I don't understand why not though. Like you could not believe in Mac Jones for this season. But like as an
overall, no. I just mean right now, I don't believe in his consistency.
But it's in the Belichick system.
I don't care about Belichick's system.
He's used three running backs so well. Mac Jones, that they obviously have no trust in Mac Jones, and they're this good.
Okay, but you think they beat the Browns? No.
I think they could.
Bills, Jets.
Is it at home for
one of the worst teams. Bills with a free win to move to 6-3. Sorry, what did you say?
Is that at home for the Patriots? Because then I'll pick the Patriots.
Yeah, it's at Patriots.
I'll pick the Patriots.
Okay, there you go. There's your conflict. Bills, Jets. Bills hoping to move to 6-3 with an easy, light week, basically a bye week against the Jets, one of the worst teams.
Yeah. We can move. The Lions are the worst team in the league. The Steelers are somehow good. We move. Buccaneers best team in the league, I think. Somehow
questionable,
debatable. Cardinals might actually be the best team in the league. They won with Colt McCoy on Sunday.
Very impressive. Let's see it, and without DeAndre.
The Vikings like score differential, whatever point differential, whatever it's called in football, is very low. I think. As a Q would say, bear low, fam.
He does talk like that too.
He does. Like a surprising, like a British person, he knows we're in America, yeah. Not a native speaker.
2 overtime games, lost by 4, win by 2, lost by 1 tutty, lost by 1 point.
That's because they missed a field goal
by
in the most
3.
Vikings game ever.
Most games are close, to be fair, but I still believe in Chargers. Justin Herbert, Eckler, Keenan Allen has been the story in LA. And LeBron, of course, hopefully watching from the sidelines. I'll give him the good luck or possibly the bad luck because he just doesn't play ever at all, as we talked about.
He's good at winning.
Is he? Eagles, Broncos. We'll skip over this one quickly. We're just going to take the Broncos and move on. Seattle Seahawks versus Green Bay Packers. Still possibly, small possibility without Aaron Rodgers.
How small is it?
I think he just said it. I think it's a pretty big possibility. I'm still going to go with the Packers regardless. Jordan Love, first game.
This might be my upset. Russell Wilson's
Special teams needs to be better. You know, we saw some very questionable things from Amari Rodgers, Mason Crosby, long snapper and holder. Weren't great.
Actually, let's go back. We can talk about the Cowboys Broncos because I think this is interesting enough to talk about.
Okay, go for
Rodgers' status.
What?
Because remember you said if we don't talk about you took one topic off the table, that's Rodgers' immunization status.
Sure. No, we can just talk about Rodgers.
Based on my wording here, yeah. Immunization.
You don't have to talk about the Cowboys if you don't want to talk about the Cowboys. We can talk about Rodgers.
I'm happy to talk about the Cowboys. I'd like to.
Let's talk about the Cowboys. They got absolutely ruined. With Dak, they should probably just keep whoever it was in.
You know his name. You know
Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush.
It's
I think they should just sell. I think they should trade Dak Prescott.
It's a tough game to swallow. For a plethora of reasons. Many to lose to the Broncos of all teams. You know we're such a strong anti-Broncos pod. Of all teams, the Broncos, you have to decide not to show up, Dak. It's not his fault. We had 2 4th downs early in the game, and we didn't convert either, and I don't really know why we went for them. Like, it should have been 6-0, 3 minutes into the game, 2 field goals. Instead, and then coming out of halftime, it's 14-0. We get a stop, and on 4th down, we block the punt. but we block it past the line of scrimmage off our own player and they recover it. So we blocked the punt, but then somehow muffed it inadvertently. Brutal. And then they just run down our throats and score. It's a terrible game. It was not well coached. It was not well played. It was Teddy Bridgewater's Broncos. Wow.
Teddy Bridgewater's really good. That's all I have to say about that one. Being real.
Oh.
I guess he's just outmatching Dak Prescott. That's it.
Yeah. They don't have the most humble fans, I would say.
Well, I'm fine with their fans. I'm content with the Broncos fans.
Okay.
Anyways, Rodger's immunization is what you actually want to talk about, right? Oh, he's turning off his camera. He's turning it back on.
I'm just trying real quick, brother.
Okay, got you. Rodgers. Big Rod's piece screwing over the Packers massively. Like an idiot of some sort.
There's so many layers. There's so many layers of how terrible this is. First of all, get vaccinated. But if you're not vaccinated, like, as much as I disagree with your values, that's your provocative. It's your decision, really. Your decision. It's a bit of a selfish decision, but it's still your decision. But then okay, there are some blind Packers fans that I respect you and Robas and Zach for not being those people. That said, he didn't technically lie. He said he's immunized. But if he didn't technically lie. But yeah. No, he didn't. He did not. I said he did not technically lie. He said, "Can we run the clip?" I'm not running the clip. You can run the clip. No. Well, we know what he said. We know what he said. Immunized, and then he goes on to say that he doesn't judge players on the team that aren't vaccinated, which just implies that he is. He worded it, I guess, smartly for what he was trying to do, but there was really I don't think there was just a point in doing it, in misleading like that. He's been fined. The Packers have been fined because he held like press conferences without a mask because the assumption was that he was vaccinated, which I don't understand how that happens. Like, how does why did they not just get proof? They need a vaccine card, yeah? Like, what are you doing? I guess so. But he has his press conference inside. Him and the Packers are fined a boatload of money. Not to them, but like theoretically what would be a lot of money to the common man, such as Leighton and myself. Not a Keel. I'm not a, oh yeah, true. Rich prick. There you go. Very true. And then he decides to back up these points by quoting MLK, misquoting MLK, and saying, didn't the great MLK, and then he like misquotes, it's our job to stand up for laws that we think are unjust. What is this? You're a white man from like suburban Wisconsin. It was rough. Misquoting him. Obviously, it was bad. Obviously, he before this, he Googled great quotes that back up me being an anti-vaxxer and found like a few good ones again about standing up for what you believe in. And then just sort of read them off his computer screen to Pat McAfee. Not a great look or a great move or anything at all, really. This seems like you just a bit dumb. Go back to being a fan of Aaron Rodgers. If it was just the anti-vax thing, sure. Like, do I now hate Kyrie Irving? Not really. I just don't really care. I don't like him anymore. Aaron Rodgers. Wasn't his excuse that he was allergic, though, to something in the vaccine? Was that a thing or no? I think that was a lie. And so do a lot of other people. Is that possible? Let's see. Let's see if that's possible. Let's see the science. I don't really care. But that doesn't matter, is the problem. Yeah, true. Regardless, he lied. It was really no. Even in the interviews and the interviews that have happened, if he'd said I was allergic, but he said this stuff about standing up for laws that are unjust, and then he said other stuff about I get tested every day. Why should I have to get the vaccine? That just went back on the fact that he's allergic to it. You can be allergic to it and not get it. That's one argument. Or you can think it's a bad system. That's another argument. You can't have both arguments. True. How do we go back to supporting him? And he was someone I didn't hate. Like, I didn't want to hate him before. Like, as much as I try and argue against you, Rovas, whoever, that's a big Packers fan, he's not a dislikable guy. He seems like a man of the people. He like grew out the hair. He like goes on a lot of podcasts to be like not a regular NFL guy. He like talks about the regular people and they're like whatever.
But on your point of getting back to being a fan of him,
if any white guy quotes MLK in an interview, misquotes him, I don't know what you want me to do.
Listen, for most people,
that's bordering on culture.
2 weeks. In 2 weeks, the whole thing blows over. For 90% of NFL fans.
But he should not. But he should.
A lot of which have not even stopped supporting him in this thing because they agree with his point. I don't. But I can see tons of people
would back him on this. And that's some subset of people. But you, as a pro-vaxxer, very woke to this day and age, assumed
sure.
Pro-vaxxer. I haven't seen the vaccine.
I got the picture of my card. Wait, give me a second.
Okay, just.
Can I show it?
Yeah.
Does it have information on there?
No, you can't actually.
I can or I cannot.
You cannot. Because a lot of people are like finding the fake ones, screenshotting them, and then using them as a vaccination card.
I don't think it didn't focus.
Yeah, which is good.
But I am vaccinated. But
you can support.
I don't know. I feel like
you finally supported him the whole time. And yes.
Listen.
And yes. How can you go quote MLK incorrectly? That's culturally insensitive.
I agree.
And racism at its worst.
On the one hand, I won't support him as a person, but he does great things for the Packers. Let's be real here.
I never want you to say Aaron Rodgers is the GOAT. You can only say Aaron Rodgers is a very good quarterback. Aaron Rodgers, and I will admit this.
Aaron Rodgers is the best, the most skilled quarterback of all time. Aaron Rodgers is the most skilled.
Tweet that, yeah?
Right no, I'm not gonna tweet that right now.
In the midst of this, let's tweet that.
Listen. Aaron Rodgers is a bad person, apparently. What we have learned.
What do you mean, apparently?
What do you mean?
This is not disputed.
Okay, sure. Aaron Rodgers is a bad person. From what we've learned in the past week, he's a bad person. He lied. He misquoted MLK. But it is undeniable what he has done for the Packers, I think it's undeniable that not everybody, a very significant proportion of NFL fans will go back to liking him. He's a likable guy. It'll blow over.
Is he?
He
was a likable guy.
He is. No, he is. The fans forget. I can constantly make a decision to forget. If he's driving down the field, NFC Championship game, 1 minute 30 left, one timeout, he's on the 40, his own 40. It's not staying in my head that he misquoted MLK and lied about his vaccination status. I'm cheering for him. Let's be real here. If Dak Prescott did, Dak Prescott's not white, but if Dak Prescott did an equally bad thing, same situation, you're rooting for him.
If he lied about his vaccination status?
If he did an equally bad thing, both ways, it doesn't matter what he did, really. If he did an equally bad thing,
Aaron Rodgers,
and he's in that position, you're still rooting for him.
Aaron Rodgers, as much as we want to think he's a smart guy, what was this decision? And then he went on 3 different shows and just dug himself a grave even deeper than it already is. Trying to bring 3 different points about himself. Either.
I don't know why the only problem I have with somebody in his PR team is telling him to go talk as much as you can. I don't think he wants to do it.
I think he is.
I think he might. Maybe he's being that guy and he just wants to express all his values. But I think there's probably somebody telling him to do all this.
He's a second-rate Kyrie Irving.
If I'm his PR team, I'm telling him to shut up. Because it's going to blow over.
Yeah. That's the problem with professional sports. We just let things blow over.
Yeah, we do.
If they're shitty guys, they can be shitty.
There's no accountability.
There's not.
Deflategate.
Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt. He's back in the NFL. Nobody questions a thing nowadays. I've not heard somebody say Kareem Hunt doesn't deserve to be on an NFL roster because he kicked somebody since he kicked somebody.
There's another debate that I think we can bring into this that is more political and about race that I think we see as an example quickly.
Sure.
There's any number of professional athletes that have abused human beings, yeah? But Michael Vick, who did his time in jail, Michael Vick left the league, went to jail, did his time, and he is under so much more scrutiny and has taken so much more hate than so many other
for dogfights, you mean?
For dogfights than for people that have like abused women and their children.
I agree, but I don't necessarily think that's really a race thing.
I think it might be.
You think Michael Vick's being singled out because he's black, but all the other black people there's like black people and white people who abuse humans, as you worded it, and all of them are getting off the hook. And then there's one black guy who's.
So then, what's special about Mike Vick then?
It's dog. I honestly think it has to do with the fact that it's dogs. People have a lot of empathy for dogs, like a ridiculous amount. Too much.
Not for Adrian Peterson's child, obviously. Or
true, Adrian Peterson. Listen. Adrian Peterson beat his son, and all that comes out of it is jokes. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, but also,
I don't see a single person who has ever said like Adrian Peterson deserves to be jobless because he beat his son.
Should be in jail.
Nobody says that. Nobody says that. People say that for Vic. People say that for.
Play devil's advocate.
I've heard people say that about Big Ben. That's not because of a race thing, but I've heard people say that about Big Ben for whatever he did.
To play like devil's advocate in this situation, not really devil's advocate, but at some level, you have to like try and separate a player's actions on the field than off. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Because, but I don't like the fact that we single out Mike Vick's case either. It has to be separate because, like, if we take felony, abuse, and a few other crimes, we get rid of so many professional athletes.
I agree. I mean,
what can we do? Like, even with this Aaron Rodgers situation,
what they do now is they fine or they suspend and they move on, and they come back when their thing is over.
Yeah, no, okay.
And they continue as normal.
I like what you said earlier. It's crunch time. I'm a diehard fan of the team. Am I really thinking about how much of a shitty person he is off the field?
Exactly. You just want him to score. That's it. That's all you want them to do. So
the moral of this discussion is that professional athletes are treated differently because they're in the public sphere.
Professional athletes are above the law. Thank you for watching.
Pretty much. I think that's honestly what we got from this conversation.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, they're not, though. They're not. They just get excused because a lot of people like what they do.
They're not above the law, but they're excused by the millions.
By the public.
By the public. Basically. Okay, let's do a quick Prem pick'em.
Well, let's finish this.
Time,
Chiefs, Raiders, Chiefs, Rams, Niners, Rams. Yeah. Easy.
Where's the 37? So did I. That's so cool. Let's move on.
I'm gonna change it when that was very strange. And my internet's being slow, of course. Okay.
That was weird.
We are starting this late. But I think it's fine. Ooh. Okay. I've made some picks already. Chelsea, Leicester.
Chelsea.
That's Chelsea. Brighton, Aston Villa. I picked draw.
I have draw. Oh, that's
nice. I don't think it's a very clear winner here. Palace, Burnley. I'd say Palace maybe draw as well in this one. No real input for these terrible teams.
I have Brentford.
I have draw. Why?
Newcastle doesn't have a win.
They don't. They have a lot of draws.
I guess so does Brentford, actually. They have a combined 11 draws and 10 results.
They have what? They have a combined 8 draws.
No, Newcastle has how many draws?
5.
Oh,
5 plus 3 is 8.
I'll take draw. You're not wrong.
I said draw as well. Southampton, Norwich. I think Southampton are one of the most underrated teams in the Premier League. Defensively, really good. Obviously, going back to bite me. Norwich is going to score like 3 goals somehow and win. But I think Southampton are quite the defensive team. They keep good teams to very few shots. So when they played Manchester City, I believe they kept them to like their like season low so far of shots, which is impressive. Still lost, but impressive nonetheless. So yeah, I'm thinking Southampton on this one, personally. No draw for me here. United versus Watford. This would be the upset, I think. Like a major upset. This would be. If Manchester lose this, Ollie's gone.
Yeah,
Ollie's gone if United lose this. So fighting for his job here.
Always in the bin. If you lose to Watford, always in the bin.
Okay. West Ham versus Wolves.
Hammer them, if you know what I mean.
Good one. West Ham staying in probably the 3rd position for this week.
Liverpool beats Arsenal. Down the Gunners. I hate the Gunners. More than I hate the Reds, I think. And then,
I think Arsenal's actually not bad with Lacazette and Aubameyang. Obviously, they had a really horrible start. Not scoring a goal in the first month and a half of open league play. But since then, pretty decent. 6 wins in, I think, 8 games or so. After starting off 0-3. So not bad at all with Aubameyang and Lacazette off that COVID that they had at the beginning of the season. They're pretty good. However, hopefully not a match for Liverpool. Could see a draw happening here, but I think Liverpool put up like 25 shots. 8 on goal. Easy bag.
Agreed.
Everton, Manchester City. The most dominant team possibly in the world. Thoughts on that take?
No, City easy. I told you I thought the last 3 were clear. Liverpool, City, Tottenham.
And Tottenham, another pretty easy dub there. I don't know what to say. Leeds are okay, I guess, but not really anything compared to Harry Kane and
second
best, and the Korean man. Best Korean ever. Goat Korean. Heung-min Son. But I think that's going to be it for today. Thank you for watching. This has been Second Take Podcast.
We out.